Hey everyone, okay, today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you myself how to do 3D makeup. Now everything is 3D, well 3D foundation, everything's 3D, everything's HD, everything's ombre. Really all 3D makeup is, or 3D foundation is contouring and highlighting, because we're adding dimension to the face, as you'll hear me go on about throughout the tutorial. But this way of doing it is we're applying the foundation first, then a tiny bit of contour, then a tiny bit of highlight to add structure and balance to the face so that our eyes are looking at something that is multi-dimensional as opposed to a flat surface. Like when we paint a wall, we tend to paint it all one colour. Our faces aren't all one colour and it's not flat, so we need to take that in consideration. This look works beautifully for daytime as it does for the evening. When you're doing the evening, you can go slightly more dramatic if you want, because we're being softer lighting, so it's a lot easier to kind of be, it's more forgiving softer light, evening light. But if you're doing it for the day, then you can absolutely do it and add structure and balance to your face. It's also a great way of bringing out your best points and taking away some of the points that we might not necessarily like about ourselves. So I hope you enjoy it and find it interesting. Bye. Okay, so let's make a start. Now I'm actually going to do it on myself because why not? Why not? And I'm going to be using RCMA foundation. Now the reason I'm using this is because it's incredibly concentrated. It has about 50% pigment, which is incredibly high because most of the brands that we buy on the high street, they contain around about 15 to 20% pigment. So if you can get something with this much pigment to look great, then it'll work with everything. I'm also going to be using this brush, which is a foundation brush. It's by Ray Morris, and the reason I'm using this is because it's going to really help me achieve a great look without it looking like I've got loads of product on. You can also use your standard foundation brush, you can even use your fingers, so I'm just going to use this because I have options. So I'm actually just going to take it neat and just get some product on the bristles, and then I'm going to buff the colour all over my face. And I'm just going to start with the forehead and I'll work my way down. When doing this technique, you need to be really gentle with your face, especially if you're using a brush like this. The bristles are soft, but it helps because you're just polishing the surface of the skin. Now I've got really kind of combination skin, and this doesn't cause any micro exfoliation at all. And I haven't added any more product to this brush yet. And you can see I'm going over my beard, which you probably won't have. Let's hope not anyway. But the fact that I can get a product with this much pigment into a beard without it caking is another reason why, doing it, when you do it kind of correctly and with the right techniques, any facial hair that you have or the light kind of hair that we sometimes have on our cheeks, it won't be apparent. Now that my face is covered, I'm going to take a lighter shade and just apply this in the areas of the face that need bringing out. You want to apply it to areas where there are shadows or any area you want to kind of highlight it a little bit. So I'm taking a shade that has a tiny touch of a sort of pink undertone, and I'm just applying it to the bridge of the nose, and I'm also applying it to the inner corner of the eye. And you can see I'm applying it heavy because I want you to see where it goes and how much lighter it is than my face. But you can see right now that all you're looking at is this highlighted bit. That's what highlighting does. It draws the eye to those points of the face. Now you can also highlight the cupid's bow if you don't have a beard, or just a touch on the upper part of the cheekbone area. You might want to just focus on that. Again, same technique. Anything that's left on my finger, I'm just rubbing on the brush, and then we're just going to buff these areas in really, really lightly. And they blend in with the foundation really, really well. Because our face isn't one colour, so by using multiple colours, we're creating dimension. Go into the socket and extend that foundation out and down. And just buffing down the centre of the nose as well. So you can see, even with a heavy application like this, that these areas, even though they've been blended out, they're just lighter than the rest of the face. Now we need to add dimension, so we're going to use a contouring product, and I'm actually going to take quite a deep shade. I'm going to take this sort of shade here, and I'm going to apply it just to my finger, and I'm going to just very lightly dot it down the sides of my nose. I'm also going to place it just underneath the cheekbone area. Don't bring it right the way down because you're extending when you blend anyway. So right here, I'm also going to take it just in the temple area and a touch on the crease of the eye, and then just a couple of dots around the kind of outer perimeter of my face. And again, whatever's left I'm just going to rub on the brush, and then all you're going to do is blend these out. And even though they look really dark now, when they're buffed and blended into the skin, it gives the illusion of structure and dimension to the face. And anything we darken or contour recedes away from us. So the reason I put it on the crease of the eye is because they're a little bit heavy, and it gives the illusion of pushing them back slightly. And this way our face gets structure and it gets balance, because our faces aren't flat in one colour. When you're blending this side bit out, don't go like this. Stay in that area where you have applied the contour colour. Can you, I hope, I haven't done the nose yet, but can you see what I'm talking about with the shading? This area looks light, the areas around just look slightly darker, and I just go down right down the side of my nose with the contouring product, because it just adds to the illusion. And when you're going down, make sure you go back up so that it kind of greets the inner corner here, so it meets the eyebrow, this contour colour. And that's pretty much the look. Now what I'm going to do is add a tiny bit of cream blush, because I've used nothing but creams. I'm just going to add a touch of cream blush. I like to do it really old-fashioned. So the way I like to do it is apply it to the upper part of the cheekbones. I like to apply a tiny touch to the bridge of the nose and a tiny touch to the temples. And again, whatever's left I'm just going to put on the brush, and I'm just going to buff this colour in so that this meets the contour colour and it meets the highlight colour. And then I'm just going to buff in the temple. I just think that it's a really old-fashioned way of doing it, but a lot of the makeup techniques that I do are quite old-fashioned and very old school, and if it works, then what does it matter? And there you go, that's it, that's the look. This is 3D makeup, also known as contouring and highlighting, but in a slightly different way. We just, as I keep saying, we've got structure to the face. I've covered any redness, I've added blusher back, I've added highlight colour, and the whole thing just looks, excuse me, it looks slightly more like it belongs to, you know, my face. Our faces aren't flat, so why should our foundations be that colour? And this is how you do 3D foundation. Thank you for watching, bye bye.